Hey, Lakers fans, buckle up because we have a situation unfolding that could genuinely shake things up for Los Angeles. Maxine Prosper has officially been waived by the Dallas Mavericks, which means he is now completely free to sign with any team that sees the value in what he brings. And make no mistake, he brings a lot. This is exactly the type of versatile wing that can fill multiple roles, give teams flexibility, and inject a dose of athleticism and defensive presence that many rosters desperately need. Now, naturally, a player like Prosper is going to have suitors. Teams are always on the lookout for wings who can defend multiple positions, switch on pick and rolls, and provide energy off the bench or in rotation. And Prosper fits that mold perfectly. But the question on everyone's mind, especially for Lakers fans, is whether Los Angeles can capitalize on this opportunity or if he slips through their fingers to a team like Brooklyn or somewhere else. Here's the catch. The Lakers, at least under current roster and cap conditions, can't just sign him directly to a standard roster spot. They need to get creative. Some sort of trade or roster maneuver would have to happen to make a direct signing feasible. But here's where it gets interesting. A two-way contract could be the golden ticket. Bringing Prosper in on a two-way deal allows him to see significant minutes, while technically not occupying a full roster slot immediately. He could play in the G League, but also step into the NBA rotation whenever needed, and by the next season, he could easily transition to a full-time role on the main roster. For a player like Prosper, who is 23 and still developing but already experienced, this could be an attractive pathway. It's not a huge leap to imagine him buying into a plan that guarantees opportunity, growth, and a chance to play alongside top-tier talent like Luka Doncic. The Lakers could offer him a platform where he can prove himself in Los Angeles, contribute in meaningful minutes right away, and eventually secure a permanent spot, which is arguably better than signing somewhere else where the path is less clear or the competition for minutes is more congested. Prosper isn't just a random addition. He's the exact type of player the Lakers have been lacking. Think about it. Wing depth, versatility, defensive capability, and the ability to contribute without dominating the ball in the offense. The Lakers have been trying to build around Luka Doncic, even hypothetically if we imagine him joining Los Angeles. And one glaring need in modern NBA construction is surrounding your primary playmaker with athletes who can defend, rebound, and make life difficult for opposing wings. Prosper fits that bill perfectly. In a league where switching on defense is critical, where pace and space offenses require wings to stretch the floor but also cover multiple assignments, he becomes immediately valuable. And yes, Brooklyn might offer him more immediate minutes, but the Lakers have a plan that could eventually lead him to more stability, a larger role, and the prestige of being part of a franchise that has championship aspirations every season. Now, let's break down the specifics a bit. In Dallas, Prosper didn't get huge opportunities simply because of roster congestion. There were 15 players ahead of him in some rotation spots, all competing for minutes, and he was the odd man out. But the sample size doesn't tell the whole story. Over the last 2 seasons, he's played 92 games. Last season alone, 52 games with 4 starts, averaging just over 11 minutes per game. That's not much, but it's enough to see what kind of player he is. Shooting percentages may not jump off the page. He shot just over 40% from the field and had limited three-point attempts, but his potential lies elsewhere. His two-point efficiency is solid. He rebounds, defends, and has athleticism that allows him to cover multiple positions. In 36 minutes of action, his per 36 stats project to roughly 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2 steals, and half a block. That's a player who, with proper minutes and a defined role, can impact the game in multiple ways, not just scoring. The Lakers' opportunity here is strategic. Think about it. You have someone like Prosper, who is young, hungry, and already NBA ready to a degree. You combine him with players like Arthur Kuma and a potential prospect like Adu Theo, and you begin constructing a wing rotation that could be a nightmare for opponents. Hyper-athletic wings who can defend all positions, run the floor, and provide spacing alongside a star player create the kind of synergy that championship teams are built on. Prosper may not be an elite shooter, but if he can hit even around 36% from 3 consistently and be complemented by others on the floor, the Lakers suddenly have the balance between defensive versatility and floor spacing they've been chasing for years. This isn't just about filling a roster spot. This is about building a foundation, laying bricks for a team that can compete year after year. Now, some might argue, why sign Prosper if you already have someone like Kuma? And that's a fair question. But the difference is subtle, yet significant. Prosper has actual NBA experience. He's been tested in live rotations, and he has shown flashes that suggest he can immediately contribute. Kuma may have size and athleticism, but sometimes experience matters, especially when integrating into a team that's vying for wins now. The Lakers can handle both, perhaps using Prosper on a two-way deal initially and giving Kuma developmental minutes in training camp or the G League. That way, the team maximizes talent, preserves flexibility, and ensures that players are growing while contributing to the NBA roster simultaneously. It's the kind of forward-thinking strategy that makes all the difference in a season where every roster move counts. Imagine a lineup with Prosper, Kuma, and Adu Theo on the wings. You suddenly have three guys who can guard multiple positions, chase shooters, defend the perimeter, and threaten as lob targets in transition. Pair that with a playmaker like Luka Doncic at the helm, and suddenly spacing, pace, and defensive versatility are all addressed. And don't underestimate the mental and cultural component. Bringing in a young, hungry player like Prosper sends a signal. Los Angeles is a place where talent is nurtured, effort is rewarded, and opportunity is tangible. That's the kind of environment that can attract free agents, retain talent, and push the team into consistent contention. Ultimately, if the Lakers want to compete at the highest level, ignoring someone like Prosper would be a misstep. His age, athletic profile, defensive versatility, and two-way potential make him an ideal fit for a franchise that needs wings more than ever. It's about the long-term vision, not just immediate box score stats. And yes, the two-way contract might not be glamorous for him in the short term, but the upside of being part of a team like the Lakers, developing under NBA-level coaching, and eventually transitioning to a full roster spot is enormous. If Luka or other team leaders can personally reach out, sell the vision, and make him feel like he's a crucial part of the future, Prosper becomes not just a signing, but a cornerstone of a wing rotation that could define the next era of Los Angeles basketball. Now, let's dive deeper into why Maxine Prosper isn't just a role player, but could be a transformative piece for the Lakers' future. One of the biggest challenges the Lakers have faced over the past few seasons has been wing depth. Not just any wing depth, but legitimate two-way wings. Players who can defend multiple positions, move the floor, rebound, and contribute offensively without being primary scorers. The NBA has evolved to a point where having one or two-way wings isn't enough. Championship-caliber teams often surround their stars with 3 or 4 athletes who can guard, switch, and create chaos defensively. And that's exactly where Prosper fits. He is athletic, versatile, and at 23, he's at a stage where his ceiling is still growing. Pair him with Arthur Kuma, who brings size and length, and Adu Theo, a promising young prospect, and suddenly the Lakers could be shaping a core of wings that very few teams can match. This isn't theory craft. It's about creating a rotation that's hard to exploit. Consider the impact on defense alone. Luka Doncic, hypothetically leading the Lakers, or any primary ball handler, has one glaring weakness: a need for perimeter athleticism around him. Opposing teams exploit this by attacking mismatches, using quick wings to isolate, or moving the ball quickly to stretch defenses. Prosper changes that dynamic. His ability to guard multiple positions, chase shooters, and rotate intelligently allows the Lakers to stay aggressive on defense without sacrificing offensive spacing. And when you combine that with 2 other hyper-athletic wings like Kuma and Theo, suddenly you're looking at a unit that can switch across almost every perimeter assignment, protect the paint in help scenarios, and recover to contest shots efficiently. That is exactly the kind of environment where a star player thrives, because now the defense is less of a liability, and the offense doesn't have to compensate constantly for defensive weaknesses. Offensively, Prosper doesn't need to be a high-volume scorer. Even limited three-point shooting, if he can hit 35 to 36% consistently, is enough to force defenses to respect him. On top of that, his ability to cut, fill lanes, and run transition adds a dynamic element that goes beyond the box score. In today's NBA, spacing is critical, but movement without the ball is equally important. Prosper's size and athleticism allow him to be a lob threat, screen and roll partner, an occasional creator off the ball, all while maintaining defensive integrity. Imagine a lineup where he, Kuma, and Theo are surrounding a primary playmaker. The spacing opens up driving lanes, forces help defenders to commit, and creates opportunities for both mid-range and three-point shots for others. And when we talk about defense translating to offense, Prosper's ability to rebound and immediately push the ball in transition is invaluable. He's not just a filler on the roster, he's a catalyst. Let's break down some numbers to put this in context. Last season, in 52 games, Prosper averaged just over 11 minutes with 4 starts. Field goal percentage was just above 40%. Three-point shooting was limited due to attempts, and free throws hovered in the mid-60s. At first glance, that doesn't scream impact player, but context matters. His shot attempts were minimal, often just 1 or 2 per game, and the limited sample size makes percentages misleading. When extrapolating to 36 minutes, the per 36 projections indicate 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2 steals, and half a block. Those aren't superstar numbers, but they are exactly the type of contributions the Lakers need from a versatile wing. Combine that with his defensive versatility, and his real-world impact is likely understated in traditional stats. He's not there to dominate possessions. He's there to complement, defend, and fill gaps that stars like Doncic or LeBron, in the Lakers' historical context, can't cover alone. Now, let's imagine how this could affect roster construction. The Lakers have historically struggled with depth on the wings, often relying on veteran stopgaps or underdeveloped rookies. Bringing in Prosper, alongside Kuma and Theo, allows the team to develop a sustainable rotation where each wing is interchangeable and each can defend multiple positions. This creates flexibility in lineups, matchup advantages, and the ability to maintain intensity throughout the season. Instead of a rigid rotation where bench players struggle to contribute defensively or offensively, the Lakers would have a 3-wing core capable of absorbing minutes without a significant drop-off. This kind of depth is what separates playoff teams from championship contenders because injuries, minutes load management, and matchup adjustments are constant challenges in the regular season. Strategically, signing Prosper also sends a message about the Lakers' vision. It says they are committed to building a modern, defensively versatile wing core around their stars. It communicates to free agents that Los Angeles is serious about constructing a sustainable, adaptable roster capable of contending in an increasingly athletic and fast-paced league. The psychological impact of having a young, hungry, and versatile player like Prosper on the roster cannot be understated. It creates competition, pushes other players to perform, and fosters a culture of accountability and development. Finally, let's address the two-way contract strategy. While some might see a two-way deal as limiting, it's actually an opportunity in disguise. Prosper can immediately impact the NBA roster, earn minutes in the G League, and transition seamlessly to a full roster spot next season. The Lakers have an incredible chance to mold him into a cornerstone of their wing rotation without the immediate pressure of a permanent roster commitment. This approach mitigates risk while maximizing upside. For Prosper, it's a chance to showcase his abilities, prove he belongs in the rotation, and set himself up for a more significant contract and role in the near future. For the Lakers, it's a low-risk, high-reward scenario that addresses a critical roster need, enhances defensive flexibility, and strengthens their long-term core. In conclusion, Prosper represents more than just another roster addition. He's a versatile, athletic, defensively capable wing who can complement stars, create lineup flexibility, and serve as a foundational piece for a Lakers team that has historically struggled with wing depth. At 23, he has the age, upside, and experience to immediately contribute while growing into a permanent role. Pair him with Kuma and Theo, and the Lakers suddenly have a rotation that can compete with anyone defensively, run the floor at pace, and create spacing and scoring opportunities for their stars. His 36 numbers hint at his potential contributions, but his real impact comes from defense, versatility, and basketball IQ. A two-way contract is the perfect vehicle to bring him in, allowing him to prove himself while positioning him for a bigger role next season. If Los Angeles acts decisively, reaches out, and convinces him to buy into the vision, Prosper could be a transformative piece, a player who not only fills a roster gap, but elevates the entire team's defensive identity, rotation flexibility, and long-term potential. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, the whispers surrounding the future of LeBron James have reached a fever pitch, and despite the lack of any official announcement, the chatter among insiders, analysts, and even casual fans has created an atmosphere of uncertainty that feels almost impossible to ignore. Speculation has become the centerpiece of sports radio shows and online debates, as people question whether the Kings' journey in Los Angeles is finally approaching its conclusion. Sources close to the team hint that there has been a subtle tension simmering beneath the surface, involving the Lakers' recent struggles to maintain consistency on the court and the ongoing difficulty in surrounding LeBron with the kind of high-level roster he has historically required to remain competitive at the championship level. For a player who has built his legacy on demanding excellence and striving for titles, these shortcomings are said to weigh heavily, especially as his career advances toward its final chapters. Observers are reading into every facial expression, every cryptic social media post, and even his body language during games, convinced that these subtle signals point to an eventual farewell. The prevailing mood is one of cautious anticipation, as if the entire basketball world is holding its breath, waiting for confirmation of what many suspect. In the swirling conversations that dominate online forums and television commentary, the potential reasons behind LeBron's rumored departure are dissected from every possible angle, often with layers of speculation stacked upon other speculation. Some argue that the Lakers' inability to secure consistent playoff runs in recent seasons has frustrated the superstar, who is famously intolerant of mediocrity. Others whisper that personal motivations may be influencing his thought process, including the desire to potentially play alongside his son, Bronny, in the NBA, which could reshape the latter years of his career. Still others suggest that LeBron is always calculating the legacy element of his decisions, and perhaps he sees an opportunity to write one final dramatic chapter elsewhere, in a market or franchise that could reinvigorate his pursuit of glory. These theories, while unconfirmed, fuel endless debates, with fans passionately defending the idea that he will stay loyal to Los Angeles, while skeptics counter that his track record shows he never hesitated to make bold moves when he felt change was necessary. The truth, hidden behind layers of strategy and secrecy, has become less important than the narrative momentum these rumors have gained, creating an almost theatrical storyline that captivates the sport. Amid this storm of speculation, the Lakers' front office finds itself thrust into the spotlight, and their every move is now analyzed as if it were a coded message about LeBron's future intentions. A front-row appearance by a general manager, a carefully worded comment during a press conference, or even an unexpected roster shuffle is instantly connected to the possibility of James leaving. Rumors suggest that behind closed doors, the organization is walking a delicate tightrope. On one hand, trying to convince LeBron that they can still build a contender around him, and on the other, preparing contingency plans in case he decides to walk away. The duality of this situation is fascinating because it demonstrates how the presence of such a singular talent creates both opportunity and pressure. LeBron's mere association with a franchise elevates its visibility and commercial power, but his potential exit casts a looming shadow that unsettles teammates, executives, and fans alike. For those who have followed the Lakers for decades, the thought of losing a player of this stature reawakens old memories of superstars leaving, triggering a mix of dread and resignation. Whether fair or not, the narrative of departure always feels larger than the narrative of continuity, making the speculation irresistible. The atmosphere among fans has become an emotional roller coaster, with reactions ranging from disbelief to acceptance, depending on who you talk to and how they interpret the latest tidbit of gossip. In bars across Los Angeles, heated arguments break out about whether LeBron still owes the city more years of service or whether he has already delivered enough by securing a championship during the pandemic-shortened season. Online, the discourse becomes even more chaotic, with memes, bold predictions, and fake insider reports spreading like wildfire, blurring the line between fact and fantasy. Many supporters, while loyal to the purple and gold, admit that they would follow LeBron wherever he goes, emphasizing his unique position as both a team player and a global brand whose influence extends beyond any single franchise. Meanwhile, critics insist that constant drama has always accompanied him, and that perhaps the Lakers could benefit from moving forward without his larger-than-life presence overshadowing the development of younger talents. This clash of perspectives only fuels the rumor mill further, as every narrative twist becomes fodder for those who thrive on the drama. The collective psychology of the fan base now oscillates between hope and dread, making every day feel like another episode in an unfolding saga. As the buzz intensifies, the overarching sense is that the basketball world is bracing itself for one of those defining moments that transcend the game itself, where speculation becomes a cultural phenomenon. Even without a single official word, the rumors of LeBron leaving the Lakers have already altered the way fans, analysts, and even rival teams approach the season ahead. General managers across the league are reportedly preparing scenarios in which they might lure the superstar, while broadcasters adjust their narratives to accommodate the possibility of another seismic shift in the NBA landscape. The uncertainty itself has become part of the entertainment, with people tuning in not just for the games but for the unfolding drama off the court. LeBron's career has always been about more than basketball. It has been about influence, power, and the ability to redefine what it means to be a modern athlete. This latest swirl of rumors fits neatly into that legacy, serving as both a reminder of his unparalleled impact and a cliffhanger that keeps everyone invested. Until the truth finally emerges, the speculation will continue to thrive, as if the mere idea of LeBron's next move has become just as compelling as the moves he makes on the court. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.